कीर्तन के लिए है तो कैन स्टार्ट कीर्तन.
सुंदरी सुमाधुरी माता जी।
स्टार्ट हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र ओनली.
माता जी, आई एम नॉट को होस्ट।
I'll just Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Gopala Krishna Goswami Iti Namini Prabhupadasya Sahitam Yaha Prakasha Vitriye Cha Pracharam Kritvan Sadhu Bhagavad Padaya Te Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. राम प्रभु की जय. So please join in with your cameras on. Maharaj, His Holiness Guru Prasad Maharaj is about to join in. He's right now near Surat. He's joining us from there and he's very busy in the meetings. तो उन्होंने बहुत मुश्किल से समय निकाला है आधे घंटे का. तो सबसे अनुरोध है कि अपना कैमराज ऑन रखें एंड जस्ट बी प्रिपेयर्ड. लेट्स हैव अ कीर्तन टिल महाराज जॉइन्स इन. सुंदरी समाद्री प्लीज स्टार्ट द कीर्तन. जब महाराज ज्वाइन कर लेंगे देन आई विल टेक ओवर. स्टार्ट.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी.
हरि बोल.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare.
Mataji. Mataji's.
Hare Krishna. Dhanutram Maharaji, most welcome to our session. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhu Eva Chapatitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We welcome you, Maharaj. So our group is joining in right now. We are live on YouTube and on Zoom as well. So everybody, I'm introduce you to all to Guru Prasad Maharaj. He's the GBC here. And he's right now in Surat. He's preaching all over America, South America, and he's right here preaching in India, in northern India, in Guru Maharaj zone as well. So we are all at his shelter. Guru Maharaj has put us all in his shelter. So we all welcome with open heart Guru Prasad Swami here in our sessions. So please, Maharaj, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm happy to see so many enthusiastic Vaishnavis wanting to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Because as I mentioned so many times when I speak about book distribution, let me just Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanam Jana Sharakaya Chakshu Rumilitam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I always mention one famous verse from, although Prabhupada didn't quote it, but it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Atta eva ami agyadilun sabakare yahan tahan premapala deha jaritari. I think that's Adi Lila 9:36 or 37, something like that. So, and it says that Lord Chaitanya says, I order everyone in the universe to distribute the fruits of love of Godhead, premapala. And that premapala has manifested externally in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books. So, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. I know that Mother Radhika Kripa has been very expert and successful in distributing many, many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. She's an expert Shiksha Guru for all of you to learn this wonderful science and so many other things, but especially the science of distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. He, one time in a discussion with Sankirtan devotees in Atlanta, Srila Prabhupada said, what is the use of your 3-minute talk? No. He was saying that we can speak to someone for 3 minutes or an hour, just like I mentioned, many times I've given a lecture and then I ask for questions and the people ask what I just spoke about, otherwise, as if I never said anything. Because especially in Kali Yuga, the attention span is very, very limited. And we have so many distractions. Our minds, like the minds of a yogi. The mind of a yogi is very, as Krishna said, or as Bhagavatam says, eke nam manasa. And Krishna says the same thing, that we should have one pointed attention. Vyavasya agnika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. That one should have one's, but people in general, their minds are so splayed out. And so, bahu shakya hyanantascha. So they can't capture things very easily. So therefore, we can say so many things, we can preach to someone, but the Srila Prabhupada's books bring everything into focus, and also they're always there in a moment of despair. And so, because usually, as Queen Kunti says, Twamakinchana Gochara, that generally speaking, those who take Krishna consciousness with Yavidatum Vai, with feeling in their hearts, is when they're in a distressed condition. And Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna personally takes charge of your life, personally, when you relate to him like a child crying for his mother. Otherwise, total abandon, total surrender, that I'm just, Krishna, I am your instrument. Now, Srila Prabhupada, in his last letter he wrote to his Guru Maharaj, just 2 weeks before his departure, he said, my dear Guru Maharaj, that I have, you're surrounded by so many brahmacharis and sannyasis who are serving you so nicely, I cannot do so. So I just have one question. How can I serve you? So this is the question that brings out surrender. And surrender is what makes our book distribution successful. When we're surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's, desire, and of course I always mention that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was famous for being a bona fide guru, because a bona fide guru doesn't add or subtract from his guru, who happens to be the founder Acharya, and therefore the guru of all of us. And this is what makes us successful in Sankirtan, that we don't, it's not so much a technique, it is a condition of the heart and condition of the consciousness that allows us. Of course, we can use techniques to get people's attention, to bring something into cultural focus. Look, like you maybe, one time I was stranded in Saudi Arabia, and I was on a Saudi Air, and one of the wheels didn't come down on the airplane, so we had to make a emergency landing, and I was there 3 days. So I had to go to the marketplace, and I just had my dhoti, and so I caught a lot of attention, and people gathered around me, and they started asking me questions, and I had a few pamphlets with me. I thought, well, maybe I'll meet somebody, and I met 150 people. I don't know how many there were, and so I gave out the pamphlets, and I was speaking about Krishna consciousness, but instead of Krishna, I was saying Allah. And then the police came, and I thought, oh, police, Saudi Arabia, this is not a good situation. The police came very angry. They said, they found one person who was translating for me. He said, and the police said, what is happening here? So he translated that. And I said, we are talking about Allah. And they all go, Allah. And everybody said, Allah, Allah. And then the police smiled and went away. So just putting it into a cultural context, and of course that was an emergency cultural context, but we, times are changing in the world, times are changing in India. We may have a more traditional view than many, especially some of you I see are young, and you may have a different worldview, and many of the young young ladies, young girls and young ladies your age, the ones that are Mother Radhika Kripa's age or my age, they may be more traditional, but the ones that are your age with social media, they're bombarded by all kinds of different ideas. I even saw one broadcast of Sadhguru recommending it, premarital relations, and so he's Sadhguru supposedly, and so these kind of things are in the air. So we have to be able to make the books relevant to people's lives, and because, as I've mentioned also many times to Sankirtan devotees, what are we doing? We're giving everyone something that tells them that everything you've done up to now is a waste of time. And the only way you can make it valuable is to put Krishna in your life. And then it all can become very valuable. Even the worst and even sinful activities become valuable if you see them as a deterrent in Krishna consciousness. And if someone has committed sinful or maybe not sinful, even pious activities, they're a distraction for Krishna consciousness, unless they're offered to Krishna. So sometimes, like in the West, sometimes impiety is the obstacle, and sometimes in India, piety is an obstacle, where piety includes all the demigods and everything and everyone, and so Prabhupada said so many times, opening hospitals, doing welfare work. And the greatest welfare work is Lord Chaitanya's mission. Because if you give someone food and they don't have knowledge, then it's almost like giving milk to a poisonous snake. Otherwise, it would just give them strength to do the wrong thing. But if you give them prasadam with knowledge, some knowledge about Krishna, or with the holy name, what to speak of Srila Prabhupada's books, then we see it. We see it in India. So many people get Srila Prabhupada's books and they transform because they have the religious background is in their DNA. It's genetic in India. One time I was speaking with an atheist professor in Chennai, a really South Indian atheist, hardcore, and then he started arguing, and I said, but I saw at one point when I spoke something about Nrsimhadev that he smiled a little bit, and right there I said, you see, I saw you smile. It's in your genes. You can't give it up. And then he said, Jai Nrsimhadev. So it's like total atheist, but it just came out. So we have such an advantage. And what we're doing in India, we are giving them Krishna consciousness. But I always recommend, and especially I know that many of you may do book distribution, online, and especially the younger devotees, you're all, your lives grew up online. We didn't even know what online was when I was in school. We didn't even have calculators, and so, so you can preach through this, but it's very important if you do this preaching, because one first step is to give someone a book, but the way that we can get them to take the Bhagavatam is we follow up, and we connect with them heart to heart. The first connection may be give them a book, even if you do it physically. I always recommend get their contact, and then bring them to the point where they take Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amara Gyaya Guru, that everyone should become a guru. Not that one person's a guru and everyone else is a disciple, but we all must become gurus. And the way we do that is through Sankirtan. It's the best way, because they have a book, they're going to read it, and you just have to ask them, please let me know how did the book change your life? How did the book inspire you? And generally speaking, in India, 90% of the people will feel inspired because everybody's struggling for money. Either they're struggling to make some money or they're struggling to make more money. You know, and so many artificial, superficial values everywhere in the world that are being imposed upon us, and the total absorption in the body. I always make the point, you have educators like Mother Radhika Priya, and an educator in modern society struggles to get by, and someone who can kick a little ball around or hit it with a piece of wood, they can make crores of rupees. And so it's such an imbalance, and everything is based on the body and bodily abilities. And so we're giving people a totally different focus. And we have such an advantage to that, because anyone who reads one of Srila Prabhupada's books, they will see, if they have any sincerity in their heart and they're looking for something, and everyone is looking. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Pratipanam Pranamina Svadanam. Everyone at every step, every living entity is looking for Krishna. The ants are looking for Krishna in a grain of sugar. And the human beings are looking for Krishna in family relationships. But the devotees have found Krishna, and they're just deepening their relationship so that they can influence more and more people. And I myself am so inspired by the person who is inspiring all of you, Mother Radhika Kripa, by her sacrifice. She's of course, a very educated, cultured person, but she's like anyone else in society. She's like anyone else. Yet she's going out and going even to different countries. She's one of the very few people from India who I know, other than a few sannyasis and a few very, very accomplished brahmacharis and a few grihastas. They go to the West, but generally they go on a very limited circuit of donors and people who are already practically devotees or congregational members. But she goes out to reach people who don't have these books, who don't know about Krishna consciousness. And this is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described as para upakara. This is the real welfare work, that you go out and you distribute Krishna consciousness in bold ways. Srila Prabhupada said, success means you must take a risk. Not physical risk, but even sometimes there is physical risk. If you even walk out on the street, there's a physical risk. So if you don't take some risk, meaning if you don't go beyond your comfort zone, because that's the real risk. We're afraid if I surrender too much, I will lose my comfort zone. I may lose that cushion that I've created around me, a mental cushion, physical cushion, intellectual cushion that keeps me feeling very secure in this world. But we have to feel secure at the lotus feet of Krishna. And that's real security. And so that can only be done by book distribution. And what Vaisheshika Prabhu has always emphasized, good book distribution means good sadhana bhakti. It means that if I live near a temple, I go to the temple regularly and pray to the deities and serve those deities. If I don't, I have deities in my home and I worship them. I always recommend everyone should read the second canto, the third chapter, text 22, the purport. Srila Prabhupada tells how to worship the deity at home. He says, from 4 a.m. to 10 at night. That's even longer than the temple. So this is the ideal. The Acharya gives us the ideal. the Bhagavatam gives us the ideal. And that's why the Bhagavatam impacts people so strongly, because the Bhagavatam brings people to such a high understanding of everything in life. It's just, I was totally, when I first time I read the Bhagavatam, I was so amazed by the concepts, and how Srila Prabhupada beautifully explains them. Now we have all kinds of commentaries to even help us understand some of the things that Prabhupada, he had to try to put it in a language that everyone could understand. I mean, it's very difficult to do what Srila Prabhupada did. Rupa Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sanat Jiva Goswami, they're not speaking to the ordinary people. They're speaking to people who have some level of philosophical ability and who are sold out to Krishna. But Prabhupada is preaching to people who never heard about Krishna, who may be breaking all of the four regulative principles, or someone who may be a Mayavadi, or someone who may be, by the way, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, he wrote a book, I can't remember the title, but in that book he says, when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I heard about the Mayavadis, and I thought they were some tribe in India, some Adivasa, some a group in India. But he said, later on, I realized that it's all of us. So these two tendencies, Krishna has two psychic divisions. He's the supreme controller, that's his tattva division, and the supreme enjoyer, his rasa division. So because of that, these two tendencies, the Mayavad tendency to control, to be God, and the Sahaja tendency to try to enjoy like Krishna, not enjoy getting happiness that comes from Krishna, but trying to imitate Krishna. And it's within all of us. And until our hearts are completely pure, those tendencies are there. And that's what fuels our ahankar. It keeps us focused on ourselves instead of pleasing Krishna. Now, another great benefit of distributing books is that it not only helps the human beings, it helps other species. Because everyone who takes up Prabhupada's books, nowadays, a great percentage of people in India eat chickens or eggs or goats or ducks. But when they get Prabhupada's book, you just saved hundreds or thousands of ducks or chickens. Everyone who reads that book and takes it seriously, that means however many chickens they would have eaten from now to the end of their life, they will be saved. And in the Western world, I consider that book distribution is the best means of cow protection, because people read Prabhupada's books and they stop eating meat. We can speak about cow protection and everybody thinks, what is that? But if we distribute Prabhupada's books, then cow protection, seeing all living entities on the same platform, it's all accomplished. So Sankirtan in that way is all inclusive. And we reach out and we protect the different species of life by just distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, because they are Krishna. Sometimes I see devotees, they put their bead bag on top of a book. I say, no, you don't. Would you hang your bead bag on the deity? No. And no, on Radharani's hand as she's blessing everyone. No. Or she's handing something to Krishna. No. So we have to, when I was in Budapest, I gave the Bhagavatam class, and I looking for the Bhagavatam, and one devotee came off the altar with a big silver tray, and the Bhagavatam was on that tray, and he put it down. Everybody offered obeisances when the Bhagavatam came out of the altar, and and then they put it, and they have it wrapped in silk and open it up, and then we chanted some prayers to the Bhagavatam. I thought that was so nice because it makes us understand what is this book that we're distributing. It's not even a book. It's Krishna. Oh, and it's a deity. We're actually giving people, by reading books, they enter into the realm of deity worship by getting this transcendental knowledge, and within their mind, they're worshiping this knowledge. So this is even one of the highest forms in the 11th canto, the chapter on deity worship. It says that when one is very elevated, they can worship Krishna with the mind. So in essence, if we take the Bhagavatam very, very seriously, we are actually, worshiping Krishna with the mind. And the reason I say this is because if we do that, then we will be able to convince others to take the Bhagavatam. Because one time Srila Prabhupada, he was sitting, I think this was in Atlanta. So he was sitting downstairs, and one devotee passed by Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, I'm going out to distribute this. This book was just released. I'm going out to distribute it. And Prabhupada said, have you read it? I said, no, Prabhupada. He said, so then how will you convince anyone to take it? No, you are not attracted. How will someone else be attracted? You cannot give attraction that does not exist within you. And so it's such an important thing that we prepare ourselves for book distribution with Srila Prabhupada's books, just reading them and relishing them, and and also chanting the Maha Mantra very, very seriously. And those two things, hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, give us the strength and the potency to really focus on doing this book distribution. So I'm hoping that, especially some of the younger participants here can, of course, anyone can, but you all have internet in your blood, so you can really use the internet to reach so many people. Some of you, if you're very expert, you can distribute thousands of books in this marathon through the internet. One time Srila Prabhupada was in the airport, and he said, where is Tripurari? And someone said, Prabhupada, he's distributing books. He thought that would make you more happy than standing here with you like we are doing. And Prabhupada said, he has understood. So when we actually think Prabhupada wanted, and it's not just that Prabhupada wanted, Prahlad Maharaj wanted, Narada Muni wanted, they all want, Krishna wants, Lord Chaitanya wants, that people get the mercy of Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya came to allow everyone to chant the holy name. And I do feel that within the next 10 years, something will happen that will bring the holy name to the focus of the whole world. I'm pretty convinced of it. And so we have to prepare ourselves, because when that happens, so many people will come to our movement, and we have to be very strong. And this is another aspect of book distribution, which is, one thing is to plant the seeds, and the other thing is to harvest the fruits that come from those seeds. And that's something that that's part of the responsibility, and that's what it means to be guru. That whoever gets these books, we should try to accept the responsibility to bring them to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Gauranga, and make them, inspire them. And so becoming very strong in our own Krishna consciousness is such an important aspect. Because I was explaining the other day that you can You can convince someone to take a book, but if you really have the desire that they become pure devotees and that I become a pure devotee, not that they become pure devotees, all of us become pure devotees. If we really have that desire, then they will get a transmission, a special Shakti within their hearts, and they will take the books more serious. So however serious we are, and how much we're praying to Lord Chaitanya Nityananda, that please allow me to be your instrument, and really has a great bearing on how eager they will be to read Srila Prabhupada's books. So this is another aspect of Sankirtan, that goes deeper than just the numbers. We don't want to think of numbers. We want to meditate, how can I act and speak and do whatever I'm doing in relation to this person in such a way that they will be inspired to take this book and take it home right away and read it, and before they even have their meal. Just they'll feel so much Shakti coming from you that they will want to understand, what is it? What does this person have that I don't have? What is the happiness that this person transmitted to me that I don't feel, that's missing in my life? Because this is what we should be. Srila Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. I always understood that it means that, our main duty is to be happy. And because if we're happy, that's contagious. Everybody wants to be happy. No, not everybody wants anything else. Not everybody wants it, but everybody wants to be happy. And if we can really be happy in our Krishna consciousness by following everything very nicely and going beyond just the mechanical, required duties, where nothing is required, it's inspired. It flows. And I always give the example of a musical instrument. When you start playing a musical instrument, it's mechanical. But when you learn how to play it, it's just, like Raganuga. It flows. And that's what Raganuga is. Raganuga Bhakti means it starts to flow. It's no longer, I have to do this, I have to do that. I don't even want to do it. It just happens. It happens. I just start chanting Hare Krishna. I can't stop. And so anyway, these are some thoughts I wanted to share with all of you, and also say how grateful I am that you're taking these steps, and so grateful to Mother Radhika Kripa that she has inspired all of you to come to this point. And every time I see her, I think about Pakistan and how people are getting Krishna consciousness, and so many other places that she's gone to. And wherever she goes, she forms a group and she attracts people. And this is what we should all do. We shouldn't just think, oh, she does that. We should think, how does she do that? So I can do that. No. And if I do that, then how many people will come to Krishna consciousness? And how many more people will have the opportunity to hear from her and other devotees? So it's our duty to this is really part of Sankirtan. It's our duty to really become inspirational in this service of Sankirtan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Really, Guru Maharaj, actually, it's all blessings of Guru Maharaj. He asked me just before leaving, it was 1 month ago, only in March 2024, he said, Radhika Kripa, if I had 10 like you, then I promised to him and I said, Maharaj, you will have 100 like me, not 10 like me. That's become my now second duty, to train them, and they make the number 100. Before I leave the planet, there should be hundreds of like me. You bless them, so they become the preachers and they become enthusiastic. And we have 90% are female, and we have 10%, 15% men also, and they are initiated by
I
Guru.
see a few.
Yes, Maharaj.
One of them with beautiful altar in the background.
Yes, he has joined from Florida. There is one from Mauritius, one from Hyderabad. So there are many, and from Jammu, like we have men also and female also from different various parts, from Detroit, from we have from Delhi,
From
Chennai.
Florida, I see. Hare Krishna.
You see all variety we have. It's all blessings, Vaishnava blessings, Guru Prabhupada blessings. So, Maharaj, they had few questions. Can I just ask one or two with you? I know you are in a hurry. You have.
Yes, certainly, certainly.
Yeah. There is a question from, there is Shaktiman Tarini Mataji. She says, how can I cultivate deeper sincerity, discipline, and dependence on the holy name so that my service becomes steady? I feel a strong desire to increase both my marathon book distribution and my sadhana bhakti, but I struggle with consistency and enthusiasm. So, what would you suggest her, Maharaj?
Well, of course, I've always found the main source of enthusiasm is association. We associate with devotees in kirtan. We associate with devotees in class. This is real association, not just to be physically present, but to be present on the level of consciousness and association with Srila Prabhupada's books. Just like for chanting rounds, the best thing you can do is at least dedicate the last 45 minutes of your day to hearing from Krishna's pastimes, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, or even philosophical, but something related to Krishna. And then when you wake up in the morning, your consciousness will wake up with that inspiration. So enthusiasm means inspiration. And Srila Prabhupada is the inspiration for all of us. And anyone who sincerely follows him and follows those who follow him will be inspirational in our lives. Sometimes, I mentioned this, sometimes we want allopathic bhakti. No, we want some magical thing that I can do in 10 minutes or some special mantra that I can chant and everything will happen. But the real process of bhakti is just, working on my surrender. And how will I surrender more to Krishna? How will I give more to Krishna? As Prabhupada says, every day at night, you should think, what did I do for Krishna? What did I do for Maya? Tomorrow, let me do more for Krishna, less for Maya. And that way, because sometimes when we try to advance too quickly, we become disappointed that I can't do it. So Srila Prabhupada always said, this is a gradual process. Take it as pratipadam, step by step, and that way you have a solid foundation in Krishna consciousness. And if you try to go too quickly, of course it's good to go quickly, but if you try to go artificially too quickly, then sometimes we start to feel like it's not happening, and we doubtful, creates doubts in the mind. Why is it not happening? Like one girl wrote to Srila Prabhupada, and she said, Srila Prabhupada, I think I'm doing something wrong. I've been chanting for 6 weeks and I still get sick. So I find that this inspiration, just gathering inspiration from wherever we can, and that gives us enthusiasm.
Thank you, Maharaj. There's another question by Anand Gopinath Prabhu. He says, in the association of devotees, how to avoid offenses when there are differences of opinions and continue his services sincerely. So there is, yes, Maharaj.
Well, Srila Prabhupada wrote one letter, I think it was to Tushta Krishna Prabhu, who said, Srila Prabhupada, I love you and I love to serve you, but I have difficulty serving the devotees. And he said, Prabhupada said, we call each other Prabhu, so you must not just say Prabhu, you must think Prabhu. And then Prabhupada said, And if you have difficulty associating with devotees, that's very unfortunate because in the spiritual world, there are only devotees. So, but avoiding offenses is to always look for the good qualities in anyone, which is Lord Chaitanya's recommendation, manadena. No. And how do you practice manadena? You look for the good qualities. Just like I did a few workshops years ago with Mahatma Prabhu, and one exercise we would do, we would ask everyone, think of someone very neutral in your life, and then now write down all the good qualities that you can see in them. And we'd see people, they'd be thinking and write something down. And then we'd say, write down all the negative qualities. They'd be writing like they couldn't go quick enough. So sometimes our minds are too focused on the negative. And that's because a very, very easy reason, because when we see the weaknesses in others, we can justify our own weakness. But when we learn to see the strength in others, then we get inspired by that. And instead of feeding our weakness, we defeat it and we strengthen our good qualities.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Rest is about book distribution that you have already emphasized so much. They are just asking, many questions came to me, and they just asked how to cultivate a mood for book distribution, how to maintain purity of heart while distributing books. So you have explained that all already. You have done that. They are blessed to have heard from you. We are all now on the marathon for the Bhagavad Gita. They all did, as you know, 1108 Bhagavatam sets, and now they are all enthusiastic about the Bhagavad Gita. We have till now done around about 3,000 Bhagavad Gitas, but our target is very high. It's 25,000 plus. Last year we did 25,000 Bhagavad Gitas.
Wow.
This year we are targeting 25,000 plus at least. So bless us.
As
Yes.
far as remembering Krishna or always, being able to have the right mood in Sankirtan, you don't have to worry about that because Lord Chaitanya will take care of it.
Yeah.
If you're not in the right mood, then the books won't go out. And as soon as they start going out, you can understand this is the right mood. Let me conserve it. So there's an automatic meter. You can gauge your book distribution. If they're going out, then I must have the right attitude.
Yes, Maharaj. They are in their own capacities. They are making their groups they have made. They go out, they call up people. So they all are very enthusiastic and they need your blessings now, Maharaj. So please bless us so that we are able to achieve our targets, and for the pleasure of the Guru Parampara and Srila Prabhupada, we may be able to please him with our book distribution.
Well, certainly, whatever blessing, of course, you are all blessed by Srila Prabhupada, and he's blessing all the devotees in this movement and everywhere. And you all have the blessings of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and you have the blessings of all the sincere devotees in this movement, and whatever little blessings I have, certainly they're 100% with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So thank you for your time, Maharaj. You have just given your precious time.
Thank you all for you're using your time for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. All glories to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you everybody for joining in. So मैंने सारे questions नहीं पूछे क्योंकि महाराज बहुत सारा कुछ तो बता चुके थे उसमें. So and he has such a simple person he is. आप सबने देखा. He's so simple, so nice, so humble, full of humility. So thank you everybody for coming in. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. I just came back by 5 o'clock. I came home 4:30. from the speaking tree. Since morning I was there. It was a 4 hour recording there. And 4 hours I had to be with them, giving like a talk show going on in English and Hindi. They recorded two in Hindi and two in English. So it was a very hectic day. And thank you for joining in. I know, but many फिर भी सब लोग नहीं आए बहुत. It is everybody should have come. I was going through. I will just ask Kavita Mataji to send me the Excel sheet who all were present. I would like to know that. So thank you everybody for joining in. Hope अब आप सब समझ गए. The right mood actually makes the book distribution happen. So we should go in a right mood to do the book distribution. हमारा मूड भी यही होना चाहिए प्रीचिंग का कि मुझे ये देनी है बुक और भगवत गीता के बारे में बोलना है और उसको देना है. So आज के सेशंस भी बड़े अच्छे थे. स्पीकिंग ट्री में दे had the divine power, the purusharth, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So how is that? There are 4 purusharth we do. So they had questions regarding that. So I had a nice session. It was like very interesting session. And जो खुद editor है speaking tree के, he comes personally always to meet me. So I was asking his other senior journalists. So I was asking them that does he, because he usually comes when I go and he spends like 15-20 minutes with me first. He talks to me. Every time he does that. So I said, does he come for every speaker you invite here? They said, no, he doesn't come for everyone. He only especially comes for only few of them. And you're one of them, he comes. Because I know, I said, your topics, I don't relate them to myself. So they said, yeah, but we just go for the, public, they watch it. So we have a variety, we offer variety to them to choose from. But of course, the way you put it, he always speaks that to the others. So he was telling me, so the editor, he wanted to he met Prabhuji last time. In fact, when he met Prabhuji, he thought him to be a foreigner. And then I told him he's not foreigner, he's Indian. So it is, but he was very much amazed by the temple making and all this. It's all Guru Maharaj blessings. So I'm happy to see that happy faces here on the Zoom so that कल result अच्छा होगा. आज रात को भी अच्छा होना चाहिए. अभी तक तो कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं आ रहा है. Preaching group में I've seen the result. Please buck up and do yes, the numbers are not important, but yes, yet the numbers are important to expand our, group. And we have to achieve the targets so that we can get the blessings of Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is the main motivation for book distribution for us. He wants to please Srila Prabhupada and we want to please Guru Maharaj so that he can offer our book distribution to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, of course. So thank you for joining in. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. I know it's dinner time for all of you. So thank you for joining in and let's meet again tomorrow morning. Vancha kalpatarubhaksha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai, Shad Goswami Vrinda ki jai. Book Marathon ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavad Pad Guru Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Paul. So thank you everybody for joining in.